Hello guys. So, the reason why I'm not using any music for this video is, apparently that's the reason why my videos are kind of glitching now. It's because of the music, and also the reason why I'm not using using my headphones this time is also contributing to the, glitching. So I'm not going to be using it anymore, but at the cost of that, you're able to hear everything in the background, like for example, my parents and grandparents them playing karaoke tonight. So yeah, I'm really sorry for that, but thankfully the glitching is going to be all gone. So yeah, so let's go back to the video. Hello guys, I am back from another video, and today we're talking about what deku took bakugou's advice. So in the last video, Deku Izuku woke up after a night of having fun with the children of Loki, specifically Hela, Fenrir, and Gormungander, and also a certain girl by the name of Melissa. So, after they had fun last night, quote unquote, Izuku woke up as Melissa explains that she's going to be having the sports festival very soon, specifically tomorrow/last video. Izuku, after hearing that, he decides to try and hijack that area, or specifically that event, so he can fake the death of All Might and Melissa herself. So, after Izuku does that, Japan was, afraid, traumatized, after seeing the death of their number one hero. Every single one of these heroes were killed, including a Racerhead, which Izuku is probably gonna turn him into a Dragar. Yeah, that's not terrifying. So, after that, some of the areas which were pretty poorly managed by the heroes and essentially by the government, they were rampant with villains. Specifically, villains from the Yakuza and the League of Villains. And after All for One saw Izuku kill All Might himself, he was terrified, but also interested in joining Izuku's ranking. So, he decides to try and become a vassal towards Izuku. And if you don't know what is a vassal, it's basically, and I quote, a person who was given land to a person of royal blood or a person in higher power than them. So, extensively, Izuku is technically a king/god. So, after that, he decides to try and find Izuku and where his army is being held, so he can become a vassal and, not get killed. So, yeah, that's basically what happened in the last video. So, yeah. So, let's talk about what happens next. So, after Izuku was getting ready for another attack, because Izuku heard that they're going to be having a internships type thing. Unfortunately, many of the heroes, specifically heroes in training, decide to join Izuku's cause. While Izuku was preparing for that, Izuku was told by one of his servants that somebody wants to talk to him. As Izuku goes up and down and down and down to the ship and sees All for One and his goons. Izuku says this: "So, who might you be? Are you, how do I say it, servants?" As All for One said this, he kneels down and says, "Sorry, but I wanted to become your vassal. I heard your immense power, and I also saw in the news that you killed All Might." As Izuku says this, wait a minute, you're All for One. Izuku laughs as Izuku says this. "Well then, you so-called rebellious, wait for a second, rebellious quirk user. It's nice to be in your presence, but I wonder why did you decide to join me? As he says this, well, because of your immense power and your abilities, I wanted to ask, can I be your vassal? As Ziku says this, well then, I do need the manpower, and I also need some more pure breeds. So yeah, you could join. As he says this, thank you. As he comes into the ship slash headquarters, he sees All Might. As All For One says this, how is he still alive? As Ziku says this, oh yeah, we just tricked those quirkies in thinking that All Might is dead. As All Might says this, hello For One. As All For One says this, hello Toshinori. As Ziku says this, I know that both of you are rivals, but unfortunately, you're no longer considered as, well, enemies. You're going to be allies, basically. As All Might says this, wait, All For One is going to be our ally? Izuku, that's a bit of a bad idea. As Izuku says this, shut up, Tochinori. Remember this saying, the enemy of my enemy is my ally. And this person is a perfect ally. After all, he did pledge his allegiance to me. And also, he's going to be one of the pure breeds, after All Might. As All Might says this, wait, those pure breeds? As Izuku says this, yes, his children and his children's children is going to become slaves. As All For One says this, I will gladly do whatever it takes, especially if it's living. He just whispers that. He basically whispers that under his breath because he's afraid of Izuku. Like, seriously. But after seeing how Izuku traumatized, like, Japan, he's not going to be fighting him. So, yeah. So, after bringing him to the office, where Izuku usually prepares his battles and things like that, well, they made a treaty where Izuku is going to become his king and All For One becomes his vassal. So, yeah, All For One is now working under Izuku, which is Izuku's, well, okay-ish ideas. So, after Izuku done it, well, Izuku tells All For One that he has a bit of a mission for him. So, Izuku explains that apparently some of the heroes, specifically the heroes in training, and some of the teachers that are still alive, or Izuku let them, well, live on, well, Izuku told them, or at least, was told, that they're going to be having internships. So, Izuku tells him to lead an army of Dragar and dwarves and, well, goblins and fae to basically attack these, well, internships or hero agencies to kill. As All For One says this, well, they do have these creatures ready. As Izuku says this, creatures? What are they called? As he explains, they're called Nomus. Izuku says this, might I ask, what do they look like? As he tells Izuku to, well, come with him to where they're hiding out in, specifically All For One's hideout. So, after doing that, they were brought to All For One's lair, specifically Izuku and the three children of Loki and Loki himself. So, after Izuku was brought to the doctor, which Izuku kind of remembers as someone familiar, you probably know him. Anyway, as Izuku looks around, Izuku sees the Nomus. Izuku says this, pathetic. As All For One and the doctor say this, wait, pathetic? As the doctor says this, might I ask, sir, Mr. Izuku, I believe. How are they that pathetic? As Izuku says this, well, I am a god of destruction and death. But not only that, a god of rebellion. These creatures are pathetic toward, well, kind now. As he says this, what do you call a god in the first place? As Izuku says this, well, explain Loki. As All for One says this, so, name is Loki, right? Why is that? As Loki says this, well, you might have heard of me in Norse mythology. As he starts transforming into his true god form, as all for the doctor were astonished. As the doctor says this, this is impossible. I thought gods never existed. As Loki says this, well then, these creatures are quite pathetic, but with Izuku's ability of creating Dragars, we can turn them into super soldiers. As All for One says this, I like the idea. Doctor, as the doctor says this, what is it, Master? As he says this, I want you to help Izuku to create these special super soldiers that Izuku requested. As the doctor says this, well, sure. So, after a while of testing, they created a special type of Nomu, which Izuku now prefers to call them, well, Neo Valkyries. They're basically like a fusion of like Valkyries that like Odin and Thor used to lead, but with the powers of quirks and a bit of like dark magic to basically round it all out. So they're basically like super soldiers like from Marvel, but 10 times. Like seriously. They're basically like Captain America if Captain America was like had magic. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, there's like another universe where Captain America uses magic, basically. So yeah, that's basically what Izuku learned from that. Wait for a second. So Izuku, after seeing the Neo Valkyries, Izuku says this. Yes, yes! This is the most powerful creature that I ever made. Right next to you, Doctor. As the Doctor says this, it's my pleasure to be working with you, Mr. Izuku. Izuku says this, thank you, Mr. Doctor. Now, see the rest of your members, Mr. All for One. As All for One says this, so, after Izuku was introduced to Shigaraki, Shigaraki says this, eh? So, you're the guy who killed All Might. It's nice to meet you or whatever. Izuku says this, nice to meet you as well. As when Izuku touches his hand, nothing happens. As Shigaraki says this, wait, why are you not disintegrating? As All for One says this, wait, I told you to put on your stupid gloves. As he says this, I was meant to do that, but I was too late, so... how are you able to... As Izuku says this, well, you said that you have, and it's like a disintegration quirk, right, Mr. Shigaraki? As he says this, yeah, but why is it not working on you? As Izuku says this, let me explain. I'm dead. He says this. What? As All for One says this. Wait, what? Izuku explains how he came to be. As after he explains, All for One said this. So, Hero Society ruined you by saying that you're weaker, pathetic, and that's how you became to be. By Hela, one of the children of Loki, bring you back to life and turned you into a servant of hers. And then after a while, after drinking a special elixir, you became a god. As Izuku says this. Yes, as Shigaraki says this. Unbelievable. Uh, Gods are real? As Bakugou, not Bakugou, I meant, All For One says this. Yeah, I was pretty shocked myself. As Izuku says this. Alright, let me see the rest of your members. After meeting the rest of the members, including, unfortunately, Toga, which she tried, like, flirting with Izuku, trying to, let's just say, get that, well, magical power. Basically, she wants to get, well, that divine blood. But unfortunately, all three of the girls are trying to watch her, and Fenrir is trying to kill her because, well, the whole sucking blood thing. Because Fenrir interpreted it as something else. Let's just say something white and comes out of your. Actually, let's not say anything else because I'm probably going to get demonetized anyway. So, after meeting the rest of the members, Izuku finds a certain boy by the name of, well, his name was Dabi. As when Izuku saw him, I meant Izuku says this. Wait a minute. Is he one of my Dragar? As, wait for a second. Dabi says this. Wait, what the hell is a Dragar? As Izuku says this. Holy, huh, I guess you really are a villain. Huh, what the heck are these scars anyway? As he explains, back when he was a child, he had a special quirk which was cremation, but his body was meant for a ice quirk. As Izuku says this. Really? Huh. Maybe I can help with that. As All For One says this. What do you mean by that, Izuku? Izuku says this. Well. Izuku starts laughing as All For One says this. He sounds even more eviler than me. And that's saying something. So, after strapping Dobby to a table and experimenting on him, he turned Dobby into a golem. Yeah. After Dobby was turned into a golem, he says this. What happened to my body? It feels... What is this? Where's my skin? As he starts looking down in his pants as he says this. Where's my... As Izuku says this. Hold on. Don't worry. You're just turned into a golem. But don't worry. Stronger. Much more faster. Much more... efficient. So, after a bit of testing... Well, Dobby's powers have increased. He's able to use his regular fire, but not only that, he's able to use a special type of fire called Fey Fire. It's basically like rainbow colored fire. As he says this. Whoa, what is this? As Ziku says this. Well, after a bit of tweaking, I gotten some help with the Fey and some help with the elves. And then I made you the perfect soldier. Or should I say, general. As he says this. General. Wait, you're gonna make me a general? As Ziku says this. Yes, you're the most trusting. Especially because your old body looks like a Dragar. And by the way, I use your old body as a template for a special type of... How do I say it? A special type of Neo-Viking... Not Neo-Viking, I meant Neo-Valkyrie. As he says this. Very well then. I'll try this body for now. As Ziku says this. Thank you, Mr. Dobby. Or should I say, General Dobby? As he says this. Don't push it. So, after a bit of looking around, Izuku leaves as Izuku explains to All For One to get ready because this day will be the day where every single quirk user and so-called villainous quirk users will rise up and kill the quirk, or should I say the hero society itself, so they can replace it with a brand new one. A society where quirks don't matter, but it does matter towards Izuku, which Izuku will make quirk users as slaves and make the quirkless as kings and queens, lords, even duchesses, duchy, or whatever you want to call them, basically like that. So yeah, so after Izuku does that, it's finally the day where the assault comes. So Izuku tells every single one of his soldiers a speech to destroy every single hero agency in the area, specifically in Shibuya, right next to maybe Shibuya slash like Tokyo. So after they were brought to that area, basically like teleporting, and the Yakuza watching unfold, well, like the hero agency Tokyo were decimated. With the help of 0 for 1, he destroyed every single one of these parts of, well, of the of Tokyo. Even some areas were exposed to having corruption, specifically human trafficking. I meant human trafficking. Yeah, when the media heard about that, well, more people started moving towards Izuku's side as the government starts panicking, thinking that they're going to be, well, squashed. So, after that, well, everything is in shambles. Several heroes were brought to, well, Izuku to get executed in public. Specifically in the part that's most like famous in Japan, specifically like I don't remember the name, but I heard it had like a special river or something. So, after they were executed on live broadcast, several of the people started moving towards Izuku's side either in fear or because of their Izuku's ideals, and mostly because apparently after seeing, well, the human traffic the hero I meant the human trafficking after being exposed for like human trafficking, like specifically to the, you get it. After that, they decided to join Izuku's side. So after that, several of like the most powerful heroes, specifically from different countries, decided to join up together again and decide to try and defend the city no matter what. But unfortunately, Izuku already knows about it. So, Izuku let one of his, well, Fey spies to basically watch and report back to Izuku. After they, or at least one of them explained, apparently, that they're planning to and defend one of their most powerful resources, specifically Hero Gear. You probably know Hero Gear as for like controlling quirks or for making quirks more powerful. So Izuku's gonna target that, specifically to a different company, and that company was the Shield Company, which was being run by Shield. Well, specifically like David Shield being Izuku's stepfather technically. I'm still don't make any stepbrother or stepsister jokes, okay? Please. Anyway, so after Izuku tells David Shield about this, he decides to cut all of the supplies or resources so they can stop making hero devices or hero gear for the Hero Society. So they're basically doomed. Yeah, they're basically doomed. Izuku, tells the Shield Company to start making gear for the Dragar slash Izuku's army now. The only hero company that's not that it's still running to this day now is still a company which I'm just gonna be calling the X Company. It just basically makes generic hero gear for the heroes, which they're reliant on right now. So, Izuku's now planning to now target that company now, so they can destroy some more of the heroes, how do I say it, morale and strength technically as well. So yeah, so I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe so you can support me and help me grow as a channel and a YouTuber. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.